Welcome back, everybody, to the Club Fin DJ interview series. I'm Stitcharoo. I've got Sanfear with me here, and we're gonna do the deep dive. So, tell us a little about how did you prepare for Club Fin at Furality Umbra?
Mm, I essentially just kind of got a set list going. I had a few picks that I wanted to make sure I played. I did it all, I think, in one day, actually. I just recorded, I essentially did a live mix and just recorded that live mix and then just kind of fine-tuned it the second time. I did a second recording just to make sure I got all the kinks and everything out. And yeah, that's kind of how I just did the set.
The songs that you started with, were they songs that you've had for a while, or did you get them just for Furality Umbra?
There were so actually the first song is I was looking for kind of a theme because for Ali to Umbra, I didn't know much about it like the theme at the time, but I saw the world and I was like thinking, oh, like world stuff. So I think the very first song is a Bauer song, which is part of a album called Planets Mad, and it's a really cool album that talks about it's essentially the whole premise of the theme of that album is like aliens coming to Earth and they're like a party species and stuff. So I was like thinking, oh, like that's like something that would work with Umbra. So that's kind of the very first song I put in the Furality mix.
Nice. I want to know anything about aliens coming to planets to party.
Yeah, it's a good album.
That sounds super dope. So let's switch gears a little bit here and talk about the art of spinning a little. What has your experience been with DJing within VR? And do you have any experience DJing outside of VR? And if so, what are the differences?
Yeah, so I actually started outside of VR. I've been DJing since I think 2014, when I was in high school. And I've been doing it for a while. I had also been like a wedding DJ at the time. I would DJ high school parties and stuff, and a bunch of different things. And then getting on VR, it was like, whoa, like I can DJ in VR and stuff. So it was like a really cool experience to kind of really start getting into that because it was kind of unique in a way, within itself. DJing in person is a little bit more kind of you focus or you kind of have the ability to kind of tell what the crowd likes and stuff, and it's a lot of like there's a lot of experience that you get to learn from like reading a crowd. But I think VR chat is really also fun because it's like you have these cool venues that people make. The lights are usually crazier and stuff. So there's a lot of clubs I've gone to in VR where I'm like, wow, this is like so cool. But they're very similar in certain instances. Some worlds are do it better than others. But yeah, I think it really depends on the venue. I think like if you want to get closer to the real life experience, there's some venues that do really well in doing that in VR.
Like Schlick's Bathroom Club?
Yeah, I think one of my favorites ones is the shelter events, just because like there's that huge room where, and then you go into it and you can't hear anyone around you. I think like that's such a cool premise because it's essentially like an actual club. When you're in a club and stuff, you can't hear people around you, so the main focus is the music, and it's like super. They like bass boost that place a little bit too, so it's like really loud.
Yeah, that is really close to real life. Because the sound just drowns you out,
Yeah.
especially in the larger venues,
Oh, definitely.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
So you started in high school. What was the inspiration for you to begin spinning records? Why you start throwing shapes?
I actually started producing before I started DJing.
Really?
I wanted to make music. I had always found like since I was like in middle school or elementary school, I played a lot of rock band and was really into like playing music and instruments. So I learned how to play the piano or the guitar, then the violin. And then
Oh,
around
wow.
high school, I was like really into like electronic music. I found Skrillex, Porter Robinson back at the days, even Zed. which I don't like anymore. But
Oh no.
they were a big like thing I used to listen to, and as well as Monster Cat at the time too was a huge label, and I was like. I want to be on this label, like I want to make music, and I loved like the music on there. So I started learning, I was like in high school searching how to like make music, and you found like kind of like weird music maker Microsoft. It didn't really do very well, but I found an actual DAW, which is a called a digital audio workshop. It's what you use to make electronic music, and I found a free one online, and I just kind of experimented around that, and then got really good at it. And then because I would make music, DJing has to come into electronic music, so I bought myself a DJ board and essentially started learning how to DJ as well. I practiced like every day, like 6 hours a day after work, and I
That's
was
how to
just
do
like,
it.
I wanted to get really good at it.
So you mentioned some of the labels, and you mentioned like Monster Cat and Skrillex, Porter Robinson. Are there any other inspirations that you have being a DJ? Any mentors or friends that you like to DJ with? Anybody in the
Yeah,
VR space or in real life?
yeah. One of my biggest mentors is Foxxy, also known as Nonstop Pup. Um, they make amazing music, a lot of club stuff. He was the reason why I kind of changed genres. Back in the day, I used to DJ a lot of bro step and dubstep and stuff, and then I got to know him, and he started showing me like club music, and I really started getting into that. So he's a big one. He's a big like inspiration to me. I just want to be like, I love. We back to back before as well. We've gone to conventions, BLFC. We've back to back LVFC, a few others. FWA last year too. And
Yeah, that
he
was dope.
was. Yeah, and he was just a huge inspiration, a big mentor for me, and he's like under. He has his own label, Thrive or Die now, which I'm also under, and we just make music on there, and we're just having the time of our life.
Oh, shout out to Nonstop. And so you started very early and then you got DJ controller and stuff like that. What is the hardware and software you're using now?
So I actually only have I have a SB3. It's like a silver SB3. It's really nice looking. I so my very first board was actually the SB2, which was kind of a black looking one, and I had that
That's
for.
Pioneer?
Yeah, it's Pioneer. Both of them are Pioneer. DDJ SB2, and then there's the SB3 that came out
Oh, I
a
used
little
to
bit
have an
after.
SB1.
Yeah, I never had the SB1. I had the SB2, but I used that thing so much to the point where all the knobs were broken off and the right channel board completely stopped working. So I bought the SB3. It
The
was
trick
cheap.
is waxing it.
Oh yeah, I mean I put an egg on the deck thing and it kind of ruined it. So I think that was why it kind of stopped working. But yeah.
Nice. And what's really good about those SB units is they're very travel friendly.
Oh yeah, I think like they're really easy to get into. They're really easy to kind of start too. I would definitely recommend beginners to kind of start off with that. I actually didn't start with an actual DJ board. I actually started DJing on a phone, and I had an iPod that I had DJ2, I think is what it was at the time,
Oh,
and it would
wow.
like link up with Spotify, and I would like be at work and like DJing on my phone, and that's essentially I did that for like a whole year until I bought myself an actual board.
Right.
But yeah, but
Tell us a
nowadays,
little bit about. Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, nowadays I do know how to play on CDJs, which I'm trying to get more accustomed to. But those things are so expensive. I don't have one, but I know how to play on them.
Right, right. So tell us a little bit about the production side. Are you use what software are you using currently? Is it like Fruity
Mm,
Loops or Ableton?
yes, I use Fruity Loops. I'm starting to learn Ableton just because I want to kind of get accustomed to other DAWs. I when I first started, it was a DAW called Audio Tool, which was free on the browser, and it was kind of like SoundCloud in a way. Where people would it was a studio on the DAW or on the browser that you could use, and that's how I started making music, and then until I had enough money to buy FL, I bought FL, and then now recently have been using FL for a few years, and now I wanted to try Ableton just to kind of freshen things up, but at the same time, I'm also wanting to teach people how to make music as well. So that's a big reason why I'm learning Ableton now, so it can have a wide variety of like knowing how to use certain things so that I can teach it to others.
Do you also use like specialized MIDI controllers as well? Keyboards
I
or
have
buttons?
I have a piano keyboard next to me, and I connect that through MIDI, and occasionally play. I've been learning the piano more recently too, just so that I can kind of play it on the DAW. But I used to have a little track pad thing from IKEA, I think is what its name. It's like a
Oh
small
wow.
little MIDI controller, but the thing broke. So I
Oh
bought
no.
a bigger, I think it's 62 keys piano, and I've been using that.
Oh wow. So with all the making your own music, the MIDI controllers, DJ equipment, tell us some about the techniques that you use that are special.
Yeah, as a musician, you always want to kind of specialize in your own sound, because that's what's going to make you stand out from a lot of other people. So I tend to really look forward to kind of seeing what works for me for the longest time. And another thing is you learn on the way too. You find a technique that you learn while you're experimenting. So a lot of them were sharp tonal kind of drums that I like to use. I'm very percussion like sided when it comes to my music, as well as like um, there's a few different synths that I use as well that I specifically like. I create my own synths and I name them under Sanfear, as well as sample. I'm trying to come up with a sample pack in the future, and hopefully that'll also bring out the more Sanfear sided of music.
Nice. I mean, you come out with a really good sample pack and you can license and sell those.
Oh, definitely.
Other DJs will
Yeah,
eat those up. Yum yum yum.
yeah, that's the big goal. I mean, I use other people's sample packs all the time, and I always love the
Oh yeah.
type of sounds that come out. Hmm.
Hell, there's an entire genre of DJ. I wouldn't really call it music, but it's called DJ tools. And it's
Yeah.
like a lot of acapella
Oh,
sampling
definitely.
and beat rhythms and
Yes.
stuff like that, that on their own don't really do anything, but together you can use them to build.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. It's a big, and I think that's a lot of fun to use, honestly. I think when it comes to making music.
100%. And lastly, I like to ask this question at the end of all the interviews with DJs. Starting out can be really tough, can really daunting. So, what's a piece of advice that you could give somebody looking to begin DJing?
Definitely, and this is also for people who have been doing it for a while, but have fun. Like, I think that's the whole reason why I started DJing is because it was fun for me. And just like don't worry about what people think of your sets and stuff. Don't worry about like, oh, like was this good? Oh, I messed up this transition. Just have fun. Like, people will notice when you're having fun, and people will notice how good your set is when you're passionate about it. And even people tend to forget nowadays, like, and it's hard to get into certain events because there's a lot of DJs nowadays, but don't be discouraged when you get rejected or anything. I got rejected a lot when I first started making or started getting into music or DJing and music production as well. It was
I
rejection
still
after
do.
rejection. Yeah, it was just rejection after rejection. But don't worry about that. Like, just have fun with it. Like, be yourself. It's music is a way to express yourself. So, like, you don't have when you focus on like if it sounds good, it's just not you. It's not gonna sound it's not gonna be you. You wanna express your feelings and stuff. So I would
Or
say
if you're
that
doing it
is
for like the prestige, you're doing it
yeah.
to like be popular, you're doing
Yeah,
it
yeah.
to,
I mean
make money or
that's the thing. That's what's gonna make you really like when you have passion behind your craft, it stands out and people will tend to notice. And that's just kind of the biggest thing I would like to tell people.
as the lyric goes, DJs are weird nerds that love music in weird ways.
Yep. Be weird with it. Do whatever you
Be
want.
weird.
Be you. I mean, we're all weird. We're all furries and stuff. We do. I mean, who
Talking animals,
cares?
oh my!
Yeah, who cares? Like, just be yourself. Just have fun.
Well, Sanfear, it's been an absolute delight talking with you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you
And
for having me.
we'll catch you on the dance floor at Club Finn. Bye, everybody.